Welcome to the island of Madeira.
We jumped right into Madeira and drove directly from the airport into a hike. Hiking was one of the main goals of this trip, and we got in a bunch. Madeira was such a needed break from the Berlin cold, gray, flat winter.
This place is just incredible. And then you look this way, and you have the most gorgeous cliffs. And then you look this way, and you have the most gorgeous husband.
That's me.
That wind? Aggressive. That's 5 miles. I got pretty worried when we were over there about it getting dark, so we kind of hustled back. So it was 2 hours and 19 minutes for exactly 5 miles. But you can see, right? Well, I don't know how to point. Right there. No, other way. That way. Right there. That's where we hiked to.
We did rent a car, but parking in Funchal can be expensive and annoying, so we took the bus into town from our first Airbnb. Our first stop was the market, which has fruits, veggies, shelf-stable things like herbs and dried chilies, as well as a wet portion for fish, and also some restaurants. I was excited because the fruit vendors let us try fruits, so we tried all sorts of different types of passion fruits, but what I was most excited about is that we got to try the Monstera fruit, which I've not had access to, so it was my first time trying it.
What does it taste like?
I don't know. Air?
It tastes like mowed grass.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
I don't think I like that. This is my first Funchal, which is a typical drink here. It's orange, lemon, honey, and rum. It's a little early in the day, but it was on the menu and I haven't had one yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. That tastes like vacation. It's wonderful.
From the market, we walked right over to the cable car, which had a really large line, and it was more busy than I had expected. But the line moved quickly. The cable car has amazing views all over Funchal and out over the ocean and the island.
If you want to know how steep it is, this road, this is an active roadway, is as steep as these stairs.
At the top, we visited the botanical gardens. The internet warned us that if you are not physically fit, to not do the gardens because the walkways are steep. And they are. But I think most people could handle this since you can walk really slowly and take breaks at the different zones. You can take it at your own pace.
So we are at the southernmost point of the Palace Gardens up here in Monte, and they're beautiful. They're super diverse. There are all sorts of different types of plants, different types of styles, and so you move through the gardens and you experience different feelings based on the area that you're in. It was really fun to wander down. We now have to hike back up because the exits are all at the northern part, which is quite a bit higher elevation. It's been a really enjoyable afternoon. I was worried that there weren't going to be many flowers. I thought it might not be the season for blooms, but it turns out a lot of things are in bloom. Small flowers, orchids, the birds of paradise are popping off. I've really enjoyed visiting here. It's a little expensive at 15 euros per person, but it makes a really good loop because we go up the cable car into the Palace Gardens and then we're going to come down on the toboggan. So we're going to hit all the major attractions in our afternoon here. So the toboggans are not far away from the gardens. They're right here. And they're all just stacked up on the road. Ah, they're going!
To make our loop for this day, we took the toboggan down. We were a little bit on the fence about doing this because it is just so touristy, right? Like, I don't think anybody goes here and thinks this is how the locals are commuting down into the city. But we went ahead for it anyways because we were right there. And it was really unique, so I'm very glad that we did it. And it's a perfect one-time activity.
Okay.
Well, I was worried about the ditch.
No, I don't even like that.
Or the pedestrian. This is not actually as fast as I thought it was going to be.
The toboggan ride doesn't drop you all the way back down into Funchal, and so we chose to walk the rest of the way into the city center and explore around, but you could take a taxi down if you wanted. As we explored downtown and the waterfront, we found some really great snacks and a wonderfully fresh seafood dinner. Alright, we found this place I found it on YouTube. Some random YouTube guy was like, come here. They have great food. So this is the garlic bread. We ordered off this board over here. Okay, so we have the tuna steaks with rice and the red snapper with french fries, and our waiter said they're too small, so we made them a pair. It's husband and wife.
I can't wait.
So good. The next day, we did our first adventure day with the car. We went to the world famous hike, very excitingly named PR1. We're at the start of our hike. We're gonna do 6.7 miles, 3,600 foot elevation gain. See how it goes. Since this was a pretty big hike for us, we were worried about the weather, but we got so lucky. It was so nice. I was prepared for cold and rain, and we ended up getting all day sun and beautiful weather. So though this did mean I was a little overdressed. This hike is so popular, so it does not give you any alone time with nature, but it is probably the top hike on the whole island, and it's for a reason. It's because those views are absolutely stunning, and it is worth the crowds. Just look at it. So we are only about a mile in out of our 3.4 miles, and it's been all downhill, so we know what we have to go back up. But look at where we are. This hike is so beautiful. It is one of the most beautiful hikes I've ever done. And that's because no matter where you are, there's something interesting to look at. You have these tunnels bored through the mountain, and so you're going in and out of these caves. You're going up giant ladders to gain elevation really fast. You might be walking along the ridgeline that's actually cut directly into the side of the mountain. There's always something delightful to look at, and it's a really interesting, engaging hike. It did end up being quite a bit longer than we had expected it to be. We did end up doing like almost 9 miles when we had expected to do more like 6. So it was important to note that it is quite long and quite steep, but it is beautiful every step of the way. I would recommend this hike to anyone. So close. Yet so many stairs stand in our way of being done. I see, yeah, just right there. Right there. Up.
Cheers.
Our next adventure was canyoneering for Jason's birthday. This was our first time canyoneering, which is rappelling down a river with big drops and jumping off rocks. Today we're gonna go canyoning. I can't take my camera with me because we're canyoning, but it's gonna be so much fun, and we'll see you after.
1, 2, 3.
We did the lowest level of canyoneering as it was our first time, and we didn't know exactly what to expect, but we happily could have gone for a more difficult one with bigger jumps and larger rappels.
Are you ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, send it.
The next day, it was time for us to move westward. On this side of the island, we stayed at the Caleta glamping pods just for the sunset views, and they did not disappoint. This was a fun and unique stay, but is only accessible by driving up some of those crazy steep roads, so it's not for the faint of heart. The west and northern sides of the island are less busy. We were there on the off season, so it's possible during peak season that everywhere would be a bit busy. It was nice to get out of the tourist bubble and have less crowds around us. This did also mean that the roads got smaller and windier. The 2-lane highway does not go all the way around the island. We made a loop out of the northwest part of the island with our goal to be seeing the natural swimming pools and waterfalls in this area. See the natural pools that we're gonna go check out. Might swim in. These pools are not particularly warm. They're not heated, they're ocean water. So we were there in February, and most of the people were just taking in the view rather than swimming. But I was glad I actually got in, and it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty great, as I was one of the only people actually in the pool, so I was able to get away from the crowd. So it really worked out in my favor. When else are you gonna have a pool like this to yourself?
Oh, it's cold now. It's still cold.
All of of this footage is from the same day, so depending on where you are on the island, you are going to see different weather depending on what time of day. It would change whether we were on one side of the island or on the other. It was really important to be prepared for whatever weather the island chose to give you. For the most part though, we got pretty lucky. It really could have rained way more than it did. Everywhere you go on this island is just so beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. No matter where you are, you can find a good view. So we wanted to do a banana plantation tour, and it was 60 euros per person to walk through the banana fields, pick a few bananas, eat a few bananas. And so it would have been 120 for us to go. And that was too much, so we just found this trail, Ruta de Banana, that goes through one of the largest growing areas of bananas. We read on one random website that Madeira grows how much Europe eats in one day is their yearly production. Don't know if that's true or not, but one person said it, so it must be true, right? And because we didn't want to steal from the farmers, we made our way to the self-service banana stand, which really wasn't all that close to where we did the banana hike. Jason, there's nothing in here.
There's no bananas?
There's no bananas.
This is very sad.
There's not a single banana. This is our second time here, and we hiked this time. They're bananas! We very much went out of our way to get them. Oh, there's a pretty one in here. Oh yeah, let's do that one. Come on, banana! Tastes exactly like a banana from the grocery store.
Yep. It does.
Last night. That's all. Last night.
It is. And we head home.
We got so lucky with the weather this whole week. We drove from the west coast back to the airport on the east, and we wanted to sneak one last hike in before leaving. And finally, we saw how rough the weather could really get. Not my finest look.
These are the only shoes I have.
We did sneak the final hike in, but we came back soaking wet and cold to the car. Honestly, not the best way to start a travel day, but we survived and had an overall amazing experience. I would be just delighted to go back to Madeira.
Thanks for joining us on this trip to Madeira. It's been such a magical island. We have had so much fun here. Thanks for letting me share it with you.